Hey everybody, welcome back for another memory keeping plan with me. This time it's for the week of March 10th through the 16th, and I just had a bunch of leftovers to use this week, so I just jumped right into that. This was an old moving day kit from Cinderella paper that's definitely not for sale anymore, and I think this was old kittenish Jess art, maybe? And the art's not even for sale from Jess anymore anyway. So very old kit, but I just wanted to use it up. It kind of gave me March vibes with the colors, and even though I wasn't unpacking or packing this week, I was definitely I don't know, at home a lot, and this gave me kind of at home vibes. So I ended up using two of the Fashion People boxes because that's pretty much all I had left over. It doesn't really bug me that there's two of the same. And then there was the person holding the plant in the wheelchair with the dog next to them that I thought was quite cute as well. So yeah, just using some leftovers. This was not the most notable week of my life anyways, so that's fine by me. And sometimes it's nice to not have full boxes on a lot of the days anyway, because then you have a lot more space for marking all the little things that come up without having to cram them all together. So yeah, I do use Post-its sometimes to keep track of which days I'm not going to put full boxes on, because that just makes it easier to not accidentally place a full box down while I'm filming. I do a lot of prep work for Plan With Me's. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I pull all my character stickers ahead of time. I put Post-its down if necessary to mark whether I'm going to use an extender or a full box, or if I'm going to even use two full boxes on a day, because sometimes I have three things to mark on a day, and so might as well fill it up with full boxes, right? I also used to leave myself Post-its about reminding myself to color block, because when I first started color blocking, it was if I really in earnest, it was hard to remember sometimes, and I'd start laying down glitter headers and totally forget what I was doing. And then also some prep work I've been doing lately is after I lay down the base, I start pulling all of my boxes and labels and things and putting them in the spots on the discarded sheet from the full boxes. I have found that really helpful for especially spacing, because obviously the full boxes sheet, those left empty boxes are the same size as where you're going to be fitting in all your labels and things. So that's something I started doing, I think in December, when I was playing catch up, extreme catch up in my planner. And it just saved me a lot of editing time, because I didn't have to fuss about with what size box I needed. And also it just made me feel more calm. So it takes time to pull the boxes ahead of time and make sure they all fit and everything, but you're going to be spending that time while you're laying down the boxes anyway. So I don't know, that's been working a lot for me. I don't love super long Plan With Me's for myself personally, because my computer has a really hard time exporting them. So honestly, this no more than 20-minute long video is the sweet spot for my computer, where it's actually going to export it in a timely fashion. Anyway, I don't know if you were curious about any of that, but that's how I've been rolling lately, is as much stuff as I can do off camera to prep and then just throw the stickers down while I'm filming. I'm going to do that prep work. So I did have to pull in 3 habit trackers from my leftovers collection, because I had no habit trackers left with this kit. So my 3 habit trackers this week were for flossing, not being on Instagram, which I managed to do every single day this week, and then taking vitamins. And this is where I stopped, I should say, taking these gummy multivitamins that I purchased, because I got a really upset stomach Tuesday and Wednesday this week, and I'm I don't know if it's because of the vitamins, but we're just going to pause those for now and see if it helped. And my issues went away, but I don't know that it was because of the vitamins, but I'm not sure. I also put in a this week header and a weekly checklist from the kit to mark my dinners, and then I put in this script from Plana Hannah in hollow foil that says I'm a priority. And then I'm going to go back to the sidebar a little bit later to add in one more thing. I was having a rough time this week. March was kind of rough for me. I looking back, I don't really know why. It just wasn't a great time, but it was the thick of the semester at that point. But anyway, the first thing I marked on Monday was Payday. So that character is from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. and the script is from Cinderella paper. I believe it was from the kit, actually, back when she used to include scripts in her kits. And then I had conference meetings with my first year level writing students. So I had this conference sticker from Sweet Ava's paper. And that's what it looked like to me. And then I did have my afternoon class, which was my advanced class. So I put in a backpack from Beneva Creations for that. Then during my office hour, this was probably before my class actually, I was doing some grading, and then there was a professional development presentation that I wanted to tune in for because I was curious about the topic. So those two girls are both from Beneva Creations. And then I was incredibly exhausted after work this day, and I was rewatching John Mulaney's Everybody's in LA because Everybody's Live, which is kind of the continuation of that show, was premiering this week, so I wanted to watch all the original episodes from last year. So at the bottom of Monday, those two characters were from Sweet Ava's paper. Tuesday, I wrote in that I was anxious and annoyed and mad. I'm not going to go into why, but I marked that. And then I also did a workout, so those two stickers are from Sweet Ava's paper. I was grading more papers and editing a YouTube video, so those two stickers are going to be from Beneva Creations. Then I played with Clover, my kitten, so that is from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And then I was reading The Parable of the Sower this week. I'm not sure when I'm going to get into my thoughts on the book. I did end up finishing it like a week or two later. It's good. There's just a couple of plot points that I'm kind of like, I don't know if that was necessary. But that Anne of Green Gables book sticker is from Itty Bitty Sticker Co., except it says Molly of Green Gables because the sheet is just like a bunch of classic literature, but replaced with like cat names, which is quite funny to me. Then I was watching more Everybody's in LA. And then this evening I had really bad, not really bad, but like some stomach cramps and nausea. I'm pretty sure it was just something I ate this day. I think this day I ate a lot of like oily foods, which my stomach does not handle very well. So at the bottom of Tuesday, again, those stickers were from Sweet Ava's paper. Wednesday, I marked that I slept horribly because of my stomach problems. I was not able to sleep very much, so that's from Sweet Ava's paper. It was rainy this day, so that is from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I did do my conference meetings with my morning students, but then I took the rest of the day off. I called in sick for my afternoon class, which sometimes that happens where I'm able to like go in at the beginning of the day, but then I hit the afternoon and I'm just like, I can't do this. So luckily I was able to call out. I used a Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. for that. I did take a nap, and then I did a tiny bit of reading since I was probably lying in bed. So that is from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. as well. And then this was the night that Everybody's Live, John Mulaney's show on Netflix, that is a live show, which is kind of fun, premiered. We've been enjoying it, my husband and I. People on Reddit don't always, but sometimes I'm afraid people on Reddit don't always understand that people can be joking about things, not entirely serious about hard opinions that they might state on a comedy show. But anyway, we've been enjoying it every Wednesday. It's definitely made my Wednesdays better just to have something to look forward to. They do replay the episodes, but it is kind of fun just to watch something live for once. And then Evie was a big old lap cat. Evie is my older cat, so I marked that with an Itty Bitty Sticker Co. icon. Thursday it rained again, so that's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And then my husband was working from home and I was lesson planning, so those two stickers are from Sweet Ava's paper. I was grading more papers, so I'm going to put in a Beneva Creations girl for that, and then I was reading more of Parable of the Sower. So I'm going to have a pause sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. for that. I didn't know Jaws was a book. Did you know that? I guess it is. Anyway. And then I'm going to mark with this knife sticker from Corks and Corks Co. that I was watching a bunch of tasting history on YouTube because it's a cooking themed show and I have these cute knife stickers, but I don't really have many things to use them for, so I thought I would just use it for that. And then Clover threw up her dinner for no reason, and then Evie did the same thing in the middle of the night. I don't know why. We never really got to the bottom of it. It was weird. It was gross. I marked it with a This Is Fine cat from Itty Bitty Sticker, not Itty Bitty Sticker Co., Sweet Ava's paper. Because, yeah, I was like, what is wrong with all of you? Are you okay? And it didn't happen again, so I guess they were fine. Friday, I marked that Clover was 23 months old, which is the last time I'm going to mark how many months old she is. That makes me kind of sad. She's all grown up. So that is from Beneva Creations. And then my husband worked from home again. And then it was really rainy and windy this day. which was notable because I did have to go to campus for a professional development meeting. So I marked that with a Sweet Ava's Paper trio of friends because our group, because we were kind of like a lunchtime meeting group, we always were doing like salad bars and like figuring out meals we could have where like each person just brought like one thing that we could throw into a bigger dish. So that was fun. And then I used 2 more Beneva Creations girls to mark that I graded more papers and that I accepted a fall class offering at another college. And then I was reading some more, so that's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. This is The Three Floofketeers. And then I was just watching a bunch of comedy on Netflix this evening because my husband went to like a metal concert with his friend. A lot of times I'll listen to the type of music that my husband likes and I'll go to concerts with him. It was like a local band, so it was either cheap or free, I can't remember. But with metal, I'm kind of like, that's not one I really want to go to. So he went with a friend and I stayed home. Then Saturday, I marked having a slow morning, just kind of relaxing with a Sweet Ava's Paper sticker. And then my husband and I went on a lunch date because typically we go out on a date for dinner on Friday. That's like our time together for sure that we commit to every week. But because he went to the concert, we didn't do that. So we went out for a lunch date on Saturday instead. I was filming a Plan With Me, that's from Sweet Ava's Paper, and then I was still reading Parable of the Sower, so that's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And then I just marked watching YouTube with a Sweet Ava's Paper icon and playing with both of the cats with a Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. Sunday was day 300 of Clover's post-medical treatment observation. We are now a whole year past the date where she had to take any pills, and I did just get an email from her doctor that she's going to be presenting her research soon, so that's really exciting. So I marked that with a Clover from Beneva Creations because my kitten's name is Clover. And then I tidied up the house, played with Evie, so that's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. and Plan a Hannah, the script. I, for some reason, marked that I did a bunch of squats, I guess just like a mini workout, so I'm going to use a Sweet Ava's Paper yoga sticker for that. And then my husband and I had a financial chat. I don't remember why. It might have just been like checking in on spending or savings or something. I don't know. But we had a financial chat. And then I was reading some more, so I have another Itty Bitty Sticker Co. character book that says Pride and Prejudice. Then I washed the sheets, so I just have this change bedding sticker from Bella Planella, maybe? I truly don't know. And then I started rewatching Bones again, so I feel like I took a lot of time off from Bones just because the first few episodes, they were kind of finding their footing. I think I started watching it back in October of last year and then like watched a bunch of other stuff. But then this day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to Bones. And I've been watching it basically ever since this date. I'm still in the middle of season 11. There's a lot of episodes of this show. So I've been enjoying it though. But that is from Sweet Ava's Paper. And then the last thing I marked that day was playing with Clover with an Itty Bitty Sticker Co. Molly. I was trying to pick which washi to use with this week. I obviously didn't have any washi stickers left over, so I had to go into my washi roll stash. So I picked this washi that's quite old. It's from not Itty Bitty Sticker Co. It's from Oh Hello Co. And it was either that or this yellow one. And I think the salmon pink works better because it ties in the color from the date covers at the top of the page. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that down, and then I'm going to put in a daisy half box in the sidebar. I think it was like the last patterned box left in the kit at that point. And all I wrote in was, I am a good teacher, because I doubt that a lot of the time, and I just need a reminder every now and then that I am doing pretty well. And then I also use the weekend banner. Weekend banners are not a high priority for me, but if I have them and I like the pattern on them, then I'll use them. So that was the case this week, especially because I had this not quite matching washi. So that is how the week turned out. I like it. It's got little bits of scripty foil here and there, but otherwise a pretty plain week. I did color block the leftovers of this kit because I thought it would look good, and I especially like it with like a rainbow prism pattern like this one. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about my week. I hope you are doing well, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.